Chapter 9, The Four Blessings. In the last chapter, we referred extensively to the initiator element of dreams. Obviously, we only lack the ability to use it. When the dream Gnostic has kept a record of his dreams, he unquestionably discovers a dream that recurs. This, among other reasons, certainly justifies writing all dreams in his notebook or pad. Undoubtedly, that recurring dream experience is the initiator element which, wisely used, leads us to the awakening of the consciousness. Every time the mystic lies on the bed, goes to sleep, and meditates at will on the initiator element, the result is immediate. Usually, the anchorite relives such dreams consciously and is able to leave the scene at will, to travel in the supersensible worlds. Any dream can be used for such purposes when we actually know the technique. Whoever awakens from a dream can continue with it intentionally if desiring to do so. In this case, one must go back to sleep and relive that dream experience with imagination. We must not imagine that we are imagining. Fundamentally, we should relive the dream in its full and crude reality. Repeating the dream intentionally is the first step towards the awakening of the consciousness. The voluntary separation from the dream in plain action is the second step. So what he's saying here essentially is that you can use these symbols, the initiator element, these things that recur in your dreams, as a trigger to recognize that you're dreaming. And you imagine it, you meditate on it, it starts to solidify, you start to see it. It's out of your own will at this point. It starts to create itself. And then as you become sleepier and sleepier, you can literally just step into your dreams and relive. You'll basically just fall asleep and mesh into the dream and be part of that scenario, but you can also leave that agenda and start doing the Gnostic work in the dreams. And at that point, you're doing the dream yoga. It's another word for it is awake-induced lucid dream. So you're awake, and then you've become sleepier and sleepier, and you induce the lucid dream with a focus point, a visual. And you get immersed in that environment, and then you fall asleep completely. You're still there, and you're just completely in that dream at that point and can do whatever you want. Some aspirants take the first step, but they lack the strength to take the second one. Such people can and should help themselves by means of the technique of meditation. By making serious decisions, those devotees will practice meditation before going to sleep. The motive of concentration and reflection in their inner and deep meditation will be, in this case, their inner situation. In this practice, the mystic, in sorrow, feeling sincere emotion, will invoke their Divine Mother Tonantzin, Devi Kundalini, in Hinduism. Tonantzin, I'm not sure which tradition that is. Devi Kundalini is Hindu. Shedding tears of pain, the ascetic Gnostic will lament their state of unconsciousness and will implore for help, beseeching their Divine Mother for strength to detach at will from any dream. The goal this tantric dream discipline seeks is to prepare the disciple to clearly recognize the four blessings that manifest in the dream experience. This esoteric discipline is certainly only for very serious people, for it demands infinite patience and enormous inner super efforts. A lot has been said in Asia about the four lights of the dream state. Let us study this matter. The first one is called the revealing light. It is written in gold letters in the Book of Life that this is perceived just before or during the first hours of sleep. Speaking frankly and to the point, let us point out that as sleep becomes deeper, the undesirable melding of residual impressions and the usual train of discriminatory thoughts fortunately dissolve slowly. In this stage of sleep, the second illumination progressively shows. This is known in Asia by the marvelous name of increasing light. Unquestionably, the means of the extraordinary tantric dream discipline, the Gnostic ascetic gets beyond this stage and apprehends the two remaining lights. To vividly experience the crude reality of the practical life in the superior worlds of cosmic consciousness signifies the acquisition of the third light, the immediate realization. This is to experience the crude reality of the practical life of the superior worlds. The fourth light is that of the inner profound illumination, and it comes to us as if by enchantment in plain mystical experience. In quotations, it says, "Here in the fourth degree of the void dwells the child of the mother clear light." From the Tibetan treatise. Frankly speaking, and without ambiguities, I declare the following. The Tantric dream discipline is in fact an esoteric preparation for that final dream that we call death. Having died many times at night, the Gnostic anchorite who has consciously apprehended the four blessings that present themselves in the dreaming experience passes to the post-mortem state when he dies with the same ease, manner that he willingly gets into the world of dreams. Outside his physical body, the Gnostic can consciously verify for himself the fate reserved to the souls beyond death. If every night, by means of the Tantric dream discipline, the esotericist can consciously die and enter into the world of the dead, it is evident that he will then be able to, as well, study the ritual of life and death while the officiant arrives. After he visited the infernos, where he saw in horror the fate of the lost souls, Hermes became acquainted with unknown facts. In quotations, "Look to that side," Osiris tells Hermes. "Do you see that hive of souls who try to climb up the lunar region? Some are rushed down to the ground just like flocks of birds under the blows of the storm. The other ones, with the strokes of their wings, reach the superior sphere, which pulls them on its rotation. Once they reach there, they recover the sight of divine things." When burying those chosen by Tlaloc, the rain god, the Aztecs placed a dried branch nearby. It was said that when the Blessed One reached the field of delights, or Tlalocan, the dried branch turned green again, indicating this way the return to a new life. Those who have not been chosen by the sun or Tlaloc fatally go to Mictlan, which is the north, a region where the souls undergo a series of magical trials on passing through the infernal worlds. There are 9 places where the souls suffer unbearably before reaching the final rest. This reminds us in an emphatic way of the 9 infernal circles of Dante Alighieri's Divine Comedy. Many of the gods and goddesses who populate the 9 Dantean circles of the Aztec Inferno. Many are the gods and goddesses who populate that region. It is worthwhile to remember in this 1974 to 1975 Christmas message the frightful Mictlantecuhtli, Mictlantecuhtli, and the tenebrous Mictecacihuatl, oh my goodness, the Lord and Lady of the Infernos, respectively, inhabitants of the 9th and deepest underground of those places. The souls who undergo the trials of the Aztec Inferno later, after the second death, enter joyfully the paradises of the elementals of nature. They become simple Buddhas, pure again. But they restart on the wheel of life, of evolution. And it can take, about 500,000 years to complete that processing, that degradation before becoming pure again. It can take even longer if you have solar bodies, keep in mind. Unquestionably, those souls who neither descend to the infernal worlds after death, nor ascend to the kingdom of the golden light, or to Tlaloc's paradise, or the kingdom of eternal concentration, etc., will come back to or return sooner or later to a new physical body. So they restart their evolution to get another chance in the human form. And they can take various animal forms in evolution, but those animal forms aren't necessarily physical because other planets are more or less pure. Most other planets are more pure than ours, so it could be easier, could be lighter, could be non-physical. But you don't get free will until you become a human again. The intellect is mostly free will. The souls chosen by the sun or Tlaloc rejoice much in the superior worlds before returning to this vale of samsara. The Gnostic anchorites, after having grasped the four lights of dreams, can consciously visit the Tlalocan every night or go down to the Mictlan, or contact those souls who, before returning, still live in the lunar region.